Welcome everybody to TSDitto Reacts. Today may be triggering. I know it is for me. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notifications button. Let's get into the video.
How do you justify a war that nobody wants?
There may be an event somewhere in the world. It's not just the missiles or drones they'll fly to Israel, but the Iranian IRGC, the very leadership the Israelis destroyed last night, has been working in nearly every country around the world, including the United States of America, to plant little terror cells all across the world.
Charlie Kirk this morning, quote, "Keep your head on a swivel. Biden let millions of people into America. Iran might activate some sleeper cells against Americans. Stay armed." Does anybody buy this still? You see, now that it's been confirmed that U.S. forces are going to be deployed, the priming campaign for some kind of attack is in full overdrive. Kind of like how they've been telling us for 30 years that Iran is 2 to 3 months away from building some kind of nuke. The irony here, of course, is the country that actually has a secret nuclear arsenal. Look, I'm gonna be real. We as regular people have almost no control if our deranged warmonger leaders want World War III. You know, we just do the best we can and be as loud as we can be. But at the very least, we should at least know who the real king, the actual king of America is, and who we fight our wars on behalf of. Godspeed to us all.
It's unusual for a U.S. president to foreshadow the use of U.S. military force, losing the element of surprise, but the president has been doing that since last night. After his meeting with the national security team in the White House Situation Room, President Trump called Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Dozens of Air Force refueling tankers have been deployed from the U.S. to Europe. All eyes now on Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, home to the B-2 stealth bombers, which are designed to carry two 30,000-pound GBU-57 bunker buster bombs. The massive ordnance penetrator, or MOP, the only conventional munition capable of reaching deep underground and into mountainsides and hitting the main nuclear site at Fordo, 120 miles south of Tehran and 300 feet underground. This video shows the GBU-57 bunker buster being tested by the U.S. Air Force in 2017 at White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. If the president orders them to fly, it's a 30-hour round trip to the Middle East and would require multiple mid-air refueling, hence the pre-positioning of dozens of refueling tankers to Europe in recent days. Here at the Pentagon, Sean, many took note when the president said in a Truth Social post earlier today, quote, "We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Soon we might know more about what that means." Sean?
Jennifer, one question. Do we have any idea? I know it's buried some 300 or 400 feet buried into the ground. We know these are 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs. How many may it take to totally eliminate that last facility?
Well, eliminate, it's hard to say, but usually the way this works, each B-2 can carry two of these bunker busters, these 30,000-pound bombs. They drop one, then they circle back, or a second bomber will circle and drop in the same spot. So usually it is a two-bomb process, if you will, where the missile will be dropped and then the second bunker buster is dropped in the exact same spot to get maximum effect.
Donald Trump has escalated tensions with Iran, warning that the U.S. knows exactly where Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is and could strike. While he stopped short of ordering a hit, he demanded Iran's unconditional surrender. This comes as Israel continues airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites, prompting Iranian missile retaliation. Trump held an emergency meeting with top officials, reviewing military options, and vowed full support for Israel if needed. Meanwhile, Iran faces mass evacuations, blackouts, and rising civilian casualties. Global leaders are urging de-escalation, but Trump says we won't back down.
Okay, you guys, World War III may be here. Trump just tweeted this saying Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Immediately following that tweet, this is Tehran, Iran right now, where tens of thousands of people are fleeing. Then we have these nuclear sniffer planes that just took off from Nebraska, which doesn't give me good vibes at all. And now right after that, we have Donald Trump ordering the National Security Council to be prepared and assemble in the Situation Room as he departs from G7 summit and will arrive in DC tonight. Then we have China urging its citizens in Israel to leave immediately. None of this is good. Now people are asking, what are the chances that all this goes down? Yeah, there's a 69% chance that the US takes military action against Iran according to Polymarket. Once again, none of this is good. Then this just happened as well. Donald Trump tweets, somebody please explain to Kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. What is going on? All in all, be safe. Make sure you get into my Telegram so you can stay up to date. But what do you guys think about all this? Let me know below.
Everybody needs to start paying very close attention to what is going on in the Middle East. Because the way things are looking right now, we may be headed into a war. Because the following statements that Donald Trump put out should have us all concerned. Take a look at this. America first means many great things, including the fact that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Make America great again. Then he goes on to say further, Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. What a shame and waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Check this video out. Look at this. It looks like everyone has heeded the warning to evacuate and leave Tehran. This line wraps all the way around. Check this out. Look at that. Following those statements, China advised its citizens to leave Israel as soon as possible. All sides have informed their backers. World War III officially begins tonight. To me, this is completely troubling and crazy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I don't want to fear.
Pause. Like I said in the beginning, this is triggering for me. I've always feared World War III. And just the thought that this particular leader of America, I'm being careful with my words, is in charge of making a decision that could change the way the world works as we know it. I'm terrified of what the possibilities are. We were worried about fake food. We were worried about gas prices. We should now be worried about the salvation of, let alone, not even just America, but the entire world. It is called World War III for a reason. People will lose their lives. I remember thinking about World War III as a small child, and it was always something that just deep in my soul I was afraid of. And for them to say it's happening right now, I have no words. It's back to the video.
But it really seems like we're going to war with Iran. And I just want you to remember, regardless of if it's a bombing campaign or boots on the ground, he's the no war guy. when all the chuds line up to talk about how we just have to take Iran. They are 2 weeks away from nuclear armament, even though that's been the case since 2015. Hell, when I joined the Army in 2006, they were talking about how Iran was next. Let's ignore the fact that this is exactly how we got into Iraq, because George Bush just needed another conflict so he could stay in power. Because Iraq was 2 weeks away from nuclear armament. He's the no-war guy. Just remember, even though during his first term he dropped more bombs out of planes than most of the other presidents and then changed the reporting around it so that people would stop criticizing him for it. Even though he made a deal with the Taliban to end the war so he could throw it onto his political rival and then use it as ammunition to get back into power. Even though he's the fucking guy.
Here's something the mainstream media won't tell you, which is that Netanyahu will sit there with Trump smiling and saying, all we want is peace. But time and time again, Israel has assassinated every serious negotiator for peace in the Middle East, including top Iranian officials that the Trump administration was just talking to about a potential nuclear deal.
We are ready.
Shemhani is one of the few people in Iran authorized to speak about the sensitive negotiations.
We can definitely have better relations with the U.S.
Shemhani said that Iran is willing to commit to never having a nuclear weapon.
He is now dead because of Israel. Quote, this action ordered by Prime Minister Netanyahu appears to deliberately undermine ongoing American diplomatic negotiations about Iran's nuclear program. Hell, they even assassinated their own prime minister because he dared to pursue peace. Yitzhak Rabin, who's seen here shaking hands with Yasser Arafat during the Oslo Accords, murdered by an Israeli ultranationalist in 1995. But the important detail that many leave out is that he was cheered on by none other than Benjamin Netanyahu himself. Mark my words, there can be no peace with Israel.
Hey everyone, it's me, it's Jeremy. It's June 17th, 2025. It's roughly 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And yesterday, Donald Trump left the G7 summit early. And there are rumors that he was headed to the Situation Room and that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, is meeting him there. We have sent more troops and more aircraft carriers over to the Middle East, and Trump set out a very scathing, very antagonistic tweet, actually a couple different tweets or Truth Social posts, warning people to evacuate Tehran, Iran, the capital. This is very, very alarming, guys. I'm not fear-mongering. I am just reading the room. I am letting you know what military personnel are saying, the families of military personnel, and just the optics of what's happening, guys. It doesn't matter about predicting anything. It really doesn't. I'm well past all that, guys. I am just here reporting on current events. I stand by everything that I've said. I believe that you should have a bug-out bag. I believe that you should have cash on hand. Yes, cash will still be usable in certain circumstances. Honor amongst people. Have small bills, okay? Have all of your normal bug-out bag stuff, guys. A little food, life straw, protection of whatever kind, pepper spray, whatever you feel comfortable with. Maps, compass, communication, two-way ham radio, a crank radio. Let's see, what else can you throw in there? Flashlight, obviously, something to start fires with. You know, something to write with, and something to write down on. You know, watch videos about bug-out bags, guys, and they stopped my video. You know what that means. So make sure it's something you can carry, guys, and then diversify your assets the best you can. If you plan on bunkering in, you know, get as much as you can afford to get. Food, water, canned goods are going to be extremely important, guys. Dehydrated stuff, things that can last a while, because growing food is very complicated right now, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Growing food is extremely complicated right now, okay? So as much as you can stock up, that's the better chance you'll have at longevity, okay? As far as your money goes, you know, obviously God's money, gold, silver, things like that, if you know how to secure it and you know how to store it, that's awesome. But we're moving into the digital age. We're moving into the new world of technology. Cryptocurrency is the new money. I'm not going to argue about if it's going to be good or bad. I'm just letting you know it's going to be the new money. So there's going to be a lot of money made during the war in different waves. It's all going to be about utility, what's being needed right now in the moment. And so I have a list of top 5 cryptos that ChatGPT and I came up with. Well, ChatGPT generated it. I just asked the question. And most of them I'm completely aware of and spiritually connected and invested in already. I am a spiritual person. That's why 144 is in my name. All I care about is trying to help God's children get away from harm. Everyone's got a choice. So if you have an opportunity, if God gives you a trumpet and says, hey, here's an opportunity to maybe not have to deal with as much of the suffering as other areas and other people, then listen and take a leap of faith. There's a lot of rumors around ZBEC network right now that it's a rug pull and all this. I heard all the same things about XRP when I got in. XRP is a government company. You hear all this about Bitcoin and the owner. It gets very tribal in this area, in this space, and there's a lot of FUD because there's a lot of entities that don't want you to see generational wealth. They don't want to have a fight on their hands. So I'm just going to trust in spirit, and if I get any kind of feeling that something is specifically bad, then I will tell you. But as of right now, I'm just hearing people, talk their smack. Okay, I'm going to ride with the 5 cryptos that I have. I'm in just those 5 cryptos. Or 4. I do not have XMR. XMR, by the way, is like $300 and some a token right now. It's the privacy coin. It's a very secure coin. So that's an expensive one to get into, and it's not found on any cold wallets right now. So let me clarify that. So if you're going to look into XMR from Monero, just know that it's going to be harder to secure on your own, but that doesn't mean it's not worth looking into, guys. So I'm invested in 4 cryptos right now. Yes, I pulled out of XRP and XLM for now. Okay, I know they're the end game. They're the Phoenix Rising after the wars, and I will secure some more before. But right now, I'm hoping for a massive pump if Trump comes out and announces that we are officially joining the war. That is the rumor. It is just speculation. I am playing speculation right now. That's all investors can do. They're just trying to read the room and place their chips wherever they feel. It's an energy movement, guys. I'm following the energy waves. I'm trusting in the things that I'm being shown and what I feel, and I'm presenting it. And that's all I can do for you guys. So please like this video. Please share this video, guys. Second time they've shut that video down while recording. So take care of yourself, get the supplies, guys, build a community, and stay in touch, guys. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
Okay, pause. Now, my concern is, especially after listening to this most recent video, the guy is telling us to get our bug out bags, water, food that we could carry, this, that, and the other. He did say God's money, gold, silver. Okay, I get it. But then he's talking about crypto. Wouldn't crypto be digital? So if we are running around carrying weapons, bug out bags, trying to find food, filter water, and all this stuff, where's this internet? How's he cryptoing? I don't know what crypto is myself. I can understand the gold and the silver. But how is he getting access to the internet in order to do this digital money? I'm just confused. If you have an answer to that, please put it in the comments so that you can explain it to me. If we're all running around trying to find shelter and safety, first off, I don't know which direction to run to. I'm confused. I'm gonna start praying. That's that.
Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei has warned that any U.S. intervention in the conflict with Israel would be met with serious consequences. He said they do not respond to threats and they will not accept any imposed peace or war. This is an unprecedented aerial war fought across hundreds of miles. Overnight, a barrage of Israeli missiles streaked across the skies of Tehran, taken out by Iran's air defense system. Iran retaliated with another wave of its own missiles. Sirens blared here in Israel, warning they were on the way. Then intercepted in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and the occupied West Bank. With their cities under fire, Iranians are counting a steadily escalating human cost. And while Israel is able to inflict far greater pain on Iran, it has not been immune to it. 90-year-old Bella Ashkenazi and her husband Chaim were asleep in this apartment block near Tel Aviv when an Iranian missile smashed through it on Sunday. Bella did not survive the strike and was buried in an emotional farewell.
She's amazing.
Ashkenazi's granddaughter Shani Buana told us her grandparents were both too frail to keep going to their bomb shelters.
I wish I could turn back time and to take her to the safe room.
You're very stoic about this new war that Israel is engaged in, but it's also taken your grandmother.
I'm going to miss her a lot, but I still think that we need to do what it takes to stop that threat.
Now, Israel has advised its citizens to remain close to bomb shelters, and the U.S. Embassy said it will be closed from today until Saturday.
Iran's leader is rejecting President Trump's call to surrender, saying U.S. intervention would cause irreparable damage. Sources say the U.S. is considering whether to join Israel in strikes against Iran's nuclear sites, and it's an effort to stop Iran from building a nuclear weapon. As KCON News reporter Jared Hill explains, even some of Trump's strongest allies are calling for restraint.
Day 6 of the Israel-Iran conflict, and sources tell CBS News President Donald Trump is weighing whether the U.S. should join Israel's strikes on Iranian nuclear sites.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple.
Yesterday, the president met with his national security team in the Situation Room. The same day, he posted on social media, quote, "We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran." To date, Trump administration officials have said the U.S. is not involved in Israel's attacks, though the U.S. has been helping Israel fend off Iranian counterstrikes. Israel's military says it struck a centrifuge production site as well as several weapons production sites in Iran overnight. Meanwhile, sirens blared as explosions blasted over Israel. Iran's supreme leader has vowed to show no mercy. President Trump, in a social media post, offered a direct warning, writing the U.S. knows where the supreme leader is hiding, calling him an easy target, though adding, "We are not going to take him out, at least for now."
Breaking news. Just hours ago, Trump rushed into an emergency military meeting. The Situation Room went dark, phones were cut, and what followed? Full-scale U.S. military positioning. Over 30 United States military aircraft just landed in the United Kingdom, Estonia, Germany, and Greece. We're talking refuelers, surveillance planes, bombers, and 2 U.S. aircraft carrier groups are heading toward the region. This is not a drill. This is pre-combat logistics. The UK is moving too. They've launched Eurofighter Typhoons and Voyager refueling jets to the Middle East. British forces are now warfooting. NATO is posturing. Meanwhile, Israel continues to hammer Tehran. Iran just called for total retaliation if one more senior official is killed. And let's not forget, Iran-backed militias are already attempting strikes on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria with drones and missiles. What's next? Trump says Iran must unconditionally surrender or face the consequences. This could spiral fast. Share this with everyone now. You need to stay informed. The world just changed.
The United States has officially entered the Israel-Iran conflict, and this isn't just war. This could spiral into World War III. America just told Iran, evacuate Tehran immediately. That only means one thing. The U.S. is preparing for serious action. And China? They've told their citizens to leave Israel ASAP. That's not random. Something big is coming. If you're anywhere near the Middle East, sorry, you're cooked. So now the question is, where can you actually be safe? Here are 5 shockingly safe countries. At number 5, Sweden. Neutral, calm, and far from any global targets. Number 4, New Zealand. Remote, peaceful, self-sustaining, and surrounded by ocean. At number 3, Chile. Protected by oceans and mountains, and far away from the chaos. At number 2, Iceland. No enemies, no conflict, just glaciers and silence. So this is safe. And finally, at number 1, Greenland. No military targets, remote, and one of the safest places on Earth to be. So, which country would you run to? Because if you're in one of these, you might just survive what's coming next. And in the end, we pray for peace.
Here's your nightly World War III update. The United States is advising its citizens to leave Tehran immediately. China is now telling its citizens to leave Israel immediately. Russia is telling its citizens to leave both Israel and Tehran immediately. Israel is warning people to leave Tehran, and Iran is telling people to leave Israel. So to sum it all up, if anybody watching my video is living in Tehran or Tel Aviv, just get the hell out of there. It's better to be alive than wrong. This is gonna be one interesting night. Something huge could be on the horizon. Donald Trump has left the G7 summit early, and he orders for a situation room to be prepared. Pray for the world, folks.
Breaking news, Israel attacked the Iranian state TV live on air. In the news, Israeli Air France. They are targeting hospitals and TV station, a TV station that was live broadcasting to the world. To see what Israel is doing around a bit under Israeli attack this entire day, and all of the air defenses are being overwhelmed. So what? With Israel attacked you, they use military bases. Military installations know they have been targeting literal hospitals in this footage showing of why all here. Television Take the Iranian Revolutionary Guard has already responded. Ordering evacuation for all residents of Tel Aviv telling in the city will soon become uninhabitable in the Iranian city. Have a car moonshot. A hospital has been confirmed it with patients being injured, but no deaths reported for the Iranians have so fought upwards of 3,000 civilian casualties to the Israeli 300 number of all report the news updates because things were getting louder. Follow Bright Future for more update.
We're getting urgent reports that Iran has launched nuclear strikes on United States warships in the Red Sea. Multiple explosions confirmed. This is not a drill. America is now entering a nationwide lockdown. Sirens are blaring. World leaders brace for global retaliation.
So last night, where everybody was focused on Israel and Iran, Russia bombed Ukraine again. And this bombing was deadly. It was in a residential area. And get this, one American citizen was unalived during this drone strike, during this drone attack. And 14 others were also unalived during this attack. But I don't know if y'all heard, but Putin and Trump had a phone call the other day, and that led, whatever happened on that phone call led to them canceling their monthly meeting. And now they're saying that the US and Russia have cut ties with each other on any type of deals, negotiation, or any of those things. But then they go and they unalive an American citizen. How will the United States respond to this? Because this is all out. I mean, people keep saying we're not in World War III yet, but I don't know, dude. Like, look at the civil unrest in countries. We got the Mexican cartel, US, we got US, Greenland, trying to take over Greenland. We got Canada, we have Russia and Ukraine, we have Iran and Israel, we have Israel and Gaza, we have all the things going on in Nigeria and the Congo. We have China just sending missiles over Japan. Once again, we have North Korea ready to press that button. We have Pakistan saying that they will nuke Israel if Israel used nuclear forces on Iran. We have Pakistan and India. Like, we have so much going on right now. How is this not considered a world war? Mind you, I forgot some things. We have the LA riots and protests all across the United States. Not only that, it's also happening in other countries as well. It's not just in the United States. We are approaching the end. We're going to continue to see these wars and rumors of wars happen like expeditiously. It's going to ramp up here now. Remember to focus your eyes on Jesus during these hard times, because this is insane. And prayers up for the people who were unalive last night in the Russian bombing and in the Russian drone attack in Ukraine. Prayers for those people.
A US versus Iran war is transforming rapidly from a possibility to a probability, with all signs now suggesting that the American military is close to joining the fight. The only question left is, when will the US make its entry? But one thing seems certain, the countdown has well and truly begun. For a long time, there was much doubt around whether or not the US would take an active role in this fight, with American President Donald Trump pushing for a peaceful resolution between Iran and Israel since taking office earlier this year. The president has made repeated attempts to strike a deal with Iran, urging the country to end its nuclear program before it's too late. A mere month ago, he spoke hopefully of peace and prosperity across the Middle East, stating,
"For the first time in 1,000 years, the world will look at this region not as a place of turmoil and strife and war and death, but as a land of opportunity and hope."
Trump even urged Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, not to attack Iran and give him more time to negotiate. But Israel clearly had other plans in mind. On June 13, it launched Operation Rising Lion, striking targets in Tehran and other locations across Iran, beginning an ongoing and rapidly escalating conflict between the two nations. In the wake of the Israeli attack, the US was quick to call the decision a unilateral one in a statement from the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, which read, "Tonight, Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We're not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region." However, in that very same statement, Rubio also suggested that the US will not shy away from taking action if Iran dared target US people or interests. He wrote, "President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces and remain in close contact with our regional partners. Let me be clear, Iran should not target US interests or personnel." Things often change quickly in times of war, and only a few days since the first strikes were fired, the US position appears to have shifted away from focusing on peaceful talks and negotiations towards full-scale military conflict. And there are now several clear signs that the country is ready to enter the fray. Arguably, the biggest and clearest of those signs is the movement of multiple US forces and some serious military hardware into the region. On Monday, June 16, confirmed reports reveal that the US Navy is sending its super carrier, USS Nimitz, as well as its accompanying strike group to the Middle East. The lead ship of the Nimitz class, USS Nimitz, is one of the biggest warships in the world, as well as the oldest serving aircraft carrier on the planet. It measures up at more than 1,000 feet and is capable of carrying up to 90 fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters in total. It's also fitted with multiple armaments of its own, including 2 anti-aircraft and anti-missile Sea Sparrow weapon systems, a pair of RIM 116 rolling airframe missile ram systems, 2 Phalanx CIWS Gatling guns, 4 Mk38 25mm autocannon turrets, and 10 .50 caliber turret emplacements. This powerful nuclear-powered super carrier forms the focal point of the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group. According to the most recent data, this strike group includes no less than 4 guided missile destroyer vessels, and it's common to have at least 1 fast attack submarine accompanying Navy carriers of this kind too. Meanwhile, riding on board the carrier itself, there's the Carrier Air Wing 17, which also forms part of the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group. This air wing is made up of multiple squadrons of FA-18F Super Hornet fighter jets, which are some of the fastest and strongest in the world, and Sikorsky MH-60S Seahawk helicopters. There's also a squadron of EA-18G Growlers, which are electronic warfare aircraft capable of disrupting enemy communications and surveillance systems, along with Northrop Grumman E-2 Hawkeye airborne early warning aircraft, used to detect the likes of enemy missile strikes, ships, vehicles, and aircraft on approach. In short, the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group is a force to be reckoned with more than enough firepower on board and in the water to deal some serious damage. According to reports, plans had been in place for quite a while to deploy the Nimitz to the Middle East ahead of its retirement in April 2026. However, those plans have been brought forward, with the Nimitz making the journey several months ahead of schedule, according to Jennifer Griffin, Chief National Security Correspondent for Fox News, who wrote on X, "The US Nimitz Aircraft Carrier Strike Group is on its way to the Middle East from the South China Sea," a US official tells Fox News. The Nimitz was previously scheduled to replace the USS Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group, which has been deployed for several months, but is now heading to the Middle East ahead of schedule. 2 super carriers and their strike groups in the same region. That's a rare sight, and one that should send ripples of fear across Iran. It's also a sign, in the eyes of many military experts, of impending US military action in the region. Just like the Nimitz, the USS Carl Vinson brings guided missile destroyers as part of its strike group, as well as powerful fighter jets, attack helicopters, electronic warfare systems, surveillance craft, and more. Strike groups like these are immensely versatile, capable of providing both offensive and defensive support as needed. The air wings of the Nimitz and Carl Vinson groups, for example, could be tasked with intercepting aerial threats or obtaining aerial superiority in contested airspace, or to launch precise missile strikes on ground or sea-based targets. The surveillance and airborne early warning craft, meanwhile, could help both US and Israeli forces preempt any Iranian missile or drone strikes and take protective measures. In other words, the mere presence of these carriers in the area could help to neutralize a large part of Iran's offensive capabilities, putting the country at a serious disadvantage while strengthening Israel's position. And there's more bad news for Iran, because the USS Nimitz is not the only piece of US military hardware on its way to the area. Late on Sunday night, a large formation of American aerial refueling aircraft, including more than 30 KC-135 Strato tankers and KC-46 Pegasus tankers, were spotted heading east. The tankers took off from various locations around the US and in other parts of the world, with many travelling across the Atlantic Ocean to take up new positions in various locations around Europe and elsewhere. Various flight tracking accounts on X charted the progress of the tankers, with one counting at least 32 in total. They wrote, with the addition of
the US may be going to war after all, huh? Everybody was laughing ha ha hee hee ha ha a week ago, but then when Israel bombed Iran, everybody was like, that smile turned to a frown, because when that happened, people already started assuming US might be involved, but people didn't know. But now people know, because Trump just put out some statements, and y'all tell me what the hell you think he meant by this. He goes, America first means many great things, including the fact that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Make America great again. Then he said Iran should have signed the deal. I told them to sign. What a shame, and what a waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. So the people in Tehran did exactly what Donald Trump said. They started evacuating, y'all. Look at this shit. Look at the line. It goes all the way around. This shit crazy, fool. Because they know some shit about to pop off. This is wild, fool. China also advised citizens to leave Israel as soon as possible, y'all. This is wild. He said all sides have informed their backers. World War III officially begins tonight. What?
Okay, so I'm in the middle of Tel Aviv. What you're looking at here is the crater from one of the Iranian ballistic missiles that hit last night. And this is the blast damage behind me. These residential apartment buildings shredded. The big hotel over there, office buildings, that's been blasted too. Right now, look here, you see people moving out of their apartments. They've got to move out. Those apartment buildings are just too damaged to use this as a cleanup operation. Nobody killed here overnight, but 8 people killed in other blast sites across Israel.
Breaking news. Trump has made a stunning move, granting U.S. commanders in the Middle East full autonomous strike authority. No longer do they need to wait for Washington's approval. Now, a general on the battlefield can launch a full-scale airstrike without any direct order from the White House. Because when the decision to bomb can be made with a single radio call, accidents become policy. Even worse, Iran has already threatened to target every U.S. base in the region. Israel is on high alert. Bahrain and Qatar have raised their readiness to orange alert. Meanwhile, U.S. military families stationed abroad are quietly being flown home. Behind the scenes, intelligence points to a chilling possibility. The U.S. might launch a preemptive strike on Tehran before Iran makes its move. And if that happens, Israel may be left to fight alone. So what does this mean for America's commitments? And what does it mean for allies who still believe in U.S. leadership? When the missiles start flying, will we still pretend this is a defensive war?
World War III is officially underway, people.
Pause. Okay. My concern is egos. We have been, since November, we have been under the command of someone who says that everything is a fake news, but everything that that person says is fake news. This person is the leader of these here United States and has made everyone angry across the entire world. We just need to pray. Our Father, protect us now. Amen. Back to the video.
Is very, very specific language, have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. The BB the bomber went on national news and said this vociferous quote, "Today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York." Some people look at it as a warning. A lot of people look at it as a direct threat. Because if you've ever seen the Samson operation, conditional surrender, and we again. We know where your so-called supreme leader is hiding. He's an easy target. This is him saying we are directly involved. I know you think, well, who's we? Nigga, the United States. US of A. Then he posted, Mike Huckabee dweeb ass. I'm not reaching out to persuade you, only to encourage you to attack Iran. Don't listen to me. God's voice from heaven is going to tell you exactly what to do. This is some of the sickest gaslighting shit I have ever seen in my entire life. You know the Jerusalem Post not going to cap about who's coming over there. Moving, refueling aircraft over to the Middle East. We're sending cargo planes. We're sending fighter jets. Soon enough, we're going to be sending our people against the will of almost, I would say, 90% of America. Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. What a shame. What a waste of human life. Basically saying we are going to kill innocent civilians because they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Even though Tulsi Gabbard, someone on his team, said in March, yeah, there's no signs of them building a weapons of mass destruction or a nuclear weapon. But obviously, BB the bomber was like, well, no, they are. They're building nukes and they're going to send it to you. Which is funny because that's exactly what he said about Iraq and Saddam Hussein. And then we sent a bunch of troops. We were over there for 20 years. Did we ever find weapons of mass destruction? I'll tell you for free. No. This is a real tweet from the IDF. If we don't stop them, you're next. And they just start listing mad different countries and say, hey, if you don't help us stop Iran and start blowing them up and their nuclear sites up, well, they're going to come and destroy you as well. Look at the gaslighting. We won't let the Iranian regime get their hands on it. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, he's going to get weapons. He's going to blow the whole entire world up. Bro's had nukes for mad long, son. Remember China? If we let them get nukes, the whole world is over. They've had nukes for mad long, son. If you don't know what the Samson option is, exactly that. Israel's plan to nuke its opponents, which if we do not help them out, includes us. If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. But you can also look up these articles yourself and you will see those are American cities listed. The major one, Believe the Times of Israel, because they will here say directly there exists a doctrine within the Israeli strategic playbook that is a last resort, but it's readiness to use nuclear weapons if we're ever facing the prospect of annihilation. AKA, if Iran starts to bomb them a little bit too much, we don't help, they bombing us. Thomas Massey, because hopefully we can slow this shit down because, as he said, Congress must actually decide. Trump hasn't said shit to them. He left the G7 shit early, said get the war room ready. And China is letting us know respectfully by sending a cargo plane to land in Iran, saying, without saying, if y'all join this war, just know what side we on. All hell could very well break loose within the next 24 to 48 hours.
World War III has already started, and I'm going to tell you exactly how America is going to get involved and how the rest of the world will follow suit. As we know, Israel and Iran are at war right now, and Israel has two objectives in this war. They want, one, to destroy their nuclear facilities, and two, a regime change that they have been calling for since 1996. However, what no Western media is telling you right now is that Israel cannot win this war without the help of America. Iran's main nuclear facilities are underground at a place called Fordo, and it is impossible to get there except with one bomb and one plane. This one bomb is called the WW3 and the United States is the only country able to make this bomb, and we only have 20 of them. And this bomb weighs 30,000 pounds, and the only plane that can carry it is a B-2 bomber, and guess who doesn't have any of those planes? Israel. And guess who does? America. Without the United States stepping in, this war between Iran and Israel is just a war on nutrition. Which country will last longer? And before we get to that point, I guarantee the United States will get involved because Israel is the United States' greatest ally. Now, I don't want to make this too conspiratorial. I want to keep it mostly fact-based, but I do have to mention that we did enter World War II because of the tragedy at Pearl Harbor, and we entered the War on Terror because of the tragedy in New York City. Just keep that in mind as you navigate the world over the next couple weeks. When the United States gets involved, the rest of the world won't stand by like they did in 2003. With the creation of BRICS, which is major countries like Brazil, Iran, China, Russia, South Africa, all these countries will not sit idly by like they did in 2003 because they have a new nucleus for a new world order that is made to destroy Western democracies. China will start to mobilize its forces, seeing it as its only opportunity to take advantage of a potentially weak United States military. They will start mobilizing in Taiwan. The United States will see this causing an economic and tech war between the United States and China. 1/5 or 20% of the world's oil flows through a strait in Iran. Iran will shut this strait down. China will supply them with resources. They will only use the oil for each other, and they will cut the West off from 20% of the world's oil. In response, the West will put sanctions on these countries, and a full-out trade economic war will ensue. And even worse than that, we will have our first tech war. This will be cyber warfare and an AI arms race between China and the United States that could prove far worse than even a nuclear war. I will go more into that in part 2, but this is exactly how the United States will get drawn into this war and how the rest of the world will respond.
Hi, welcome to the Valenti Videos Vindication Hour. I would like all MAGA to please defend World War III in the comments, because you will defend it. You will say that we need to go to Iran, we need to bomb Iran, because we need to defend Israel. This is so fucking satisfying watching all of you squirm like worms going, but we have to go to war in Iran. We have to send our young boys and girls to go fight in Iran. Iran. Sorry, in Iran.
Bro, we all sitting here all sweet and cozy and shit.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious,
what the fuck?
A war gonna happen now.
Thank you for joining me once again today. I'm Big Shy, and this is my update for the 18th of June 2025. We will discuss the situation between Iran and Israel, and we will finish up with the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, is preparing and planning to drag America into Israel's war. Netanyahu personally requested and asked for the help of the United States in fighting against Iran. Last week, the Iranian government had warned all its citizens to vacate Israel with immediate effect. The Israeli government had warned all its citizens to vacate Iran and also to relocate from Tel Aviv to the nearest town. The United States government had warned all its citizens to leave Iran and Israel with immediate effect. Russia had warned all its citizens to vacate Iran, to vacate Israel with immediate effect. China had warned all its citizens to leave Iran and to leave Israel with immediate effect. Pakistan had also warned its citizens to leave Israel with immediate effect. Turkey warned its citizens to leave Israel with immediate effect. Something bad and something big is about to happen. Believe me, this is going to be the beginning of World War III. What we have all been talking about, it is about to go. Trust me. The most important target, the most primary target in all of this conflict that started was to destroy the Iranian Fordo enrichment underground nuclear facility. And so far, so good. Israel had failed to achieve that because the facility is built 90 to 100 meters below ground surface. And Israel doesn't have the weapon to complete the job. Conventional weapon or conventional bomb cannot destroy that facility because it is deep down into the ground. Iran took their time to build that facility. Solid, believe me. The only two countries that have the weapon to destroy that facility is the United States and Russia. That kind of deep underground facility, those are the only two countries that have the weapon to do the job. The United States, is it Moab, M-O-A-B bomb, Moab bomb, and the Russian Fab are the only two bombs that can do that job. According to rumor that I'm hearing, United States is planning to to give this bomb to Israel to finish off the job. And the problem is that Israel has a lot of aircraft. Israel has a lot of tanks. Israel has a lot of warships. They have a lot of military equipment, many other weapons. They have it. But they don't have the aircraft that can carry or launch the Moab bomb. They have F-16 fighter jet. They have the F-35 fighter jet and many more fighter jets. Israel have all of them. But they don't have the ability to carry this Moab bomb. Even if the United States gives it to Israel, they can't operate it. The Moab bomb, the Moab bunker duster bomb, that's what they call it, has a specific aircraft that can carry it and launch it. And this is where it gets funny. This is where the United States is going to come into this conflict. Let me explain why I said that. Let me explain in a very clear, plain word why I said this is the point where United States is going to come into this conflict. The last few days, United States had built up their aircraft in the Diego Garcia airfield in India, in the Indian Ocean, in the middle of the ocean. And they have two B-2A bombers waiting in that airfield and four B-52H bombers sat waiting in that Diego Garcia airfield in the middle of the ocean. The B-2A bombers are the only aircraft that can carry and launch the Moab bomb that Israel needs to destroy that Iranian underground facility. Obviously, you and me know United States will never give Israel those aircraft because they are bloody expensive. And this is where I suspect the United States themselves will have to operate that aircraft to destroy that facility themselves. But it is not going to be easy because Iran is not going to just sit there with their hand behind their back and watch this happen, right? This is where it gets interesting. Iran has their own plan. And I think this is the fear that is clicking the mind of most of the Western leaders because Iran has been they've been quiet. They've just been doing what they're doing, launching missiles into Israel. But we haven't really seen the bad side of Iran yet. Let me remind you that the Iranian Air Force had not been involved in this conflict yet. Not as much as we would expect. Let me take your mind. Yeah, let me take your mind back to January 2025 this year. Iran purchased a batch of the Russian Su-35 fighter jet, and according to rumor, apparently, allegedly, let me put it that way, Iran has about 20 to 50 units of this fighter jet in their possession, well hidden away, and they have not even started using them. At the moment, all they're doing is launching ground-to-air missiles, ballistic missiles into Israel, and I suppose I don't have to tell you how that is going at the moment, the kind of damages and the kind of destruction they are doing to Israel right now. Obviously, there have been some videos some video published of the Israeli Air Force destroying two F-14 Tomcat fighter jets that was sat in an air base in Iran. That is all we've seen so far. That is a couple of days ago. I'm sure you have all seen that video as well, with the two aircraft sat there and then the Israeli fighter jet or whatever bombed the two planes. But so far so good. We haven't seen a single Su-35 fighter jet visible or destroyed, which means Iran had done a good job to hide them perfectly without anybody knowing, in anticipation of the main battle, which is yet to come, which is about to come. And it is really going to be interesting. Iran is not a small country that can be bullied. Iran is not Afghanistan. Iran is not Gaza. Iran is not Syria. Iran is not Lebanon. And this is where Iran is going to show their military might to the entire world. It is disturbing. I mean, it's going to be a very disturbing reality, but let's keep our finger crossed. Now, let me round up with Ukraine quickly because I'm conscious of the time. Previous night, Russia carried out a massive strike on the Ukrainian territory. The capital city was hammered heavily. Ukraine claimed they shut down 96% of all the incoming attack from Russia, which means Ukraine doesn't need any more external help. And it looked like all their air defense systems are functioning perfectly well. God is good. They shut down 96%, right? Now, the reality on the ground says otherwise. The Kyiv International Airport was destroyed. A huge weapon warehouse that was in the central Kyiv was destroyed. A lot of destruction was done to Ukraine economy in that strike by Russia. Just at this time when United States had completely cut Ukraine off. No more weapon, no more support for Ukraine for obvious reasons. United States is busy concentrating on the war they are about to start with Israel and Iran. According to the Ukrainian government, the condition of the capital city is at its worst since the beginning of this conflict in Ukraine. What do you guys think? Let me know in regard to the Israel-Iran situation. Let me know what you guys think.
In under 48 hours, Iran fired nearly 300 missiles and drones, including its most advanced models, into Israeli cities like Tel Aviv, Haifa, Petah Tikva. The retaliation came with a message that said, "We are not Gaza, we hit back."
Iranian TV today said there's a big surprise tonight that the world will remember for centuries. The official Iranian government posted this, saying maybe, while stroking what looks to be a nuke. I'm just going to put this out there. That's pretty weird and pretty gay. The White House has issued a travel and photo lid for the day, signaling that President Donald Trump is not expected to make any public appearances or be seen on camera today. Now, after Trump's threats and demand for surrender today, Iran is ready to strike the U.S. bases in the Middle East. The missiles and equipment are already prepared, and American officials are stating that Tehran is waiting for Washington to join Israel. With all that being said, is the big surprise tonight a nuke that they're not supposed to have? And if it is, are all the people that are stating that Israel is evil for striking Iran, are they going to apologize? Because that is a threat. And people who stroke nukes should not have them.
Am I the only one freaking out right now? I just saw Iranian state news say that there will be a surprise tonight that will shock the world for centuries to come. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why are we a part of this? Like, if you guys have a problem with him, take it out with him. We don't even like him here. Okay? Take us out of the group chat. He doesn't even like us, okay? We are marching in these streets against him here. So, if you have a problem with him, take it out with him. But we don't want this war any more than you do, okay? So please take us out the group chat and deal with it with him. And the craziest part is right after that post, okay, this generation is super unserious. Right after that post, there was a post that said World War III outfit inspo. What? What? World War III outfit inspo? Are you okay? And debatably, the outfits are cute. I mean, you kind of ate, obviously, camo, like, yeah, but come on. Like, this is so crazy right now. I don't even know how to feel. I was really trying to have a hot girl summer, and it's looking like a World War III summer, and I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest. No, truly, like, how do you guys feel about this? Am I the only one freaking out?
No. Sadly, you are not the only one freaking out. This is serious. This is terrifying. I don't have any words. I mean, again, the person who is in charge of this country has made everyone on the planet angry. And this person is able to make decisions that affect everyone's life, including my own. I don't know what to say or do. I don't know what's to come. All I can say is I believe in the Almighty God, our Father, Jesus Christ, our Savior, our Holy Spirit. People who don't play fair should not have toys that hurt other people. These are egos. The egos need to stop. It's not about money. And see, at the end of the day, wars make money. And the people who are making the decision to have war, they are looking at the money. But if there's nothing left and there's no one left, what are you going to do with the money? What are you going to do? Think about it. In the past few years, all the celebrities were building underground bunkers. They're concerned about money. I always have the same question. If you get rid of all the rest of us and whoever's left just has a bunch of money and you already have everything, what are you going to spend the money on? You're just going to be like, oh, I got a lot of money. There's nobody here. God help us all. That's the end of the video. Thank you for joining. Again, trigger warning. I'm scared to death. Pray for everybody. Pray for yourself. Pray for your family. Whatever is going to happen, I mean, where are you going to run to? God bless us all. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. Please comment. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to respond to your thoughts. Maybe we could just pray for each other in the comments. To the next video. God bless us. And God bless you. Bye.